Libya is helping to set a new precedent for humanitarian intervention, and it is a healthy one. The new precedent is twofold. First, where there's mass homicide with thousands of people dying, and second, where there's a viable plan for rescue that risks hardly any lives for the intervening force. We're seeing that play itself out in Libya, where in the last 2 weeks we have saved thousands of lives at no cost of life to the United States or the rest of the world who's intervened. And this is extending a pattern that we've observed in the last 20 years. For the past 20 years, we've observed humanitarian interventions that have succeeded in Bosnia, Kosovo, in helping the Kurds in northern Iraq, and now in Libya, where thousands of people were at risk, thousands of people were saved with a viable plan for intervention and virtually no risk of life to the intervening forces. Trying to topple Gadhafi with military force would be widely viewed as foreign-imposed regime change. This would break the international coalition and probably congeal support for Gadhafi inside the country. I think that one of the things we have to avoid is the hope that we can now negotiate our way out of this. Specifically, I think we should not be in the business of negotiating a settlement between Washington, Europe, and Tripoli, the Gadhafis, because this would yet be another instance of foreign-imposed regime change and essentially selling out the millions of people who have risked their lives in Libya to break away from the regime. Instead, we should create the conditions for the people in Libya to have a real choice. And the key condition for that is large economic flows into eastern Libya. Saif Gadhafi is definitely smart, he's definitely savvy, he's definitely interested in incremental reform over a period of decades in Libya. But at this point, over the last month, with all the blood on the hands of Gadhafi, including Saif Gadhafi, I think the idea that the United States and the West, or the much of the rest of the world, will cut a deal with Saif Gadhafi to keep him in power is not realistic. We are witnessing a stunning humanitarian success. Less than 2 weeks ago, Gadhafi's forces were barreling in on Benghazi and about 2 million people in the east of Libya, and there was every reason to believe thousands would be killed very quickly. And what happened? Within a period of days, U.S. and NATO airstrikes smashed those forces that were running into Benghazi and likely saved thousands of people. It's important to remember that Libya imports 90% of its food and Benghazi exports 80% of Libya's oil. So it really is possible with economic flows to substantially improve the lives of millions of Libyans.